Yeah, welcome everyone back to the Smoker Fire Show. I am your host, Jack Alexander. Alongside me, as always, Owen Colshaw Klein in the building. We just went through um how many stages of grief am I in right now?
I
Starts
think
in denial. I'm not in denial anymore. Anger maybe, bargaining possibly, depression not quite, because there's still hope, and acceptance. I don't accept shit
I
yet.
don't accept shit. I demand
Because, okay,
acceptance.
so as of right now, the Packers are the 7 seed, assuming that the Commanders do not get upset this coming week against the Cowboys, which
Unlikely, but who knows?
is entirely possible. Who did they just beat? They just beat someone
They just
recently.
beat Michael Penix Jr. and the Falcons in overtime.
And they made, I thought they had a pretty good win recently. Hold on.
I think the Falcons are one of their better wins. They haven't beaten a team over 500. If I look at the calendar, I don't think they've beaten a team over 500 aside from
Oh,
the Eagles.
no, they beat the Bucks. They beat the
They
Bucks
upset the Bucks and the
couple
Eagles
weeks
are their resume building wins that I'm looking at here.
in the Eagles.
Yeah, they beat the Eagles the second time they played them, the week of Christmas, 22nd. They put up 36.
Are
So,
we looking at the same team? We're talking about the Cowboys.
talking about the Cowboys, I'm talking about the commies.
No.
So, assuming the Commanders don't get upset.
Yeah, because the Cowboys are capable of
Uh,
doing it because they just beat the Buccaneers in week 16.
yeah, that was a weird game too. But
Yeah. But what I'm saying is it's entirely possible that they lose. In a scenario that they do, let's say Packers win,
you
where is
guys' last
it?
game? Tell me it's Chicago.
Cowboy. Say the Cowboys win. We're looking at 6 seed
Oh
at
my God.
LA.
Jack, you guys get to play the Bears. Yes!
What?
You guys get to play the Bears in your final week.
Yeah.
I've never been happier to beat you and then have your next game be the Chicago Bears where you can bounce back.
Wait, are you complimenting me right now?
Yes, that brings insurmountable amounts of joy that you get to beat the shit out of the Bears and I get to watch it for my own entertainment.
Oh wow, okay. Hey, see, I just went through hate week with this guy. That this is what he calls it, his hate week. The week going into a game against the Vikings. So I'm just used to so much hate, and now I think we're past that point. I think we're just looking at what our teams can do in the future. And what the Vikings can do is get the 1 seed.
Again, crazy state. If you had told me that even like after Labor Day, I would have called you delusional.
Oh my God, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Like,
Even after you started off the season 5-0, I was still like, eh.
yeah. And we could
It's
probably,
happened before.
I'd say we could probably find the clips of our predictions that we did months ago, but I'm pretty sure I predicted half as many wins as they currently have. I predicted seven, they currently have 14.
I think I predicted 7 as well.
I was gonna say, I
Yeah,
feel like we were pretty
7 or 8.
pretty
And then
low.
I actually had the Bears about 8. I
Which
had the Packers about 11. And I had the Lions 13-4.
I would say, looking back on it, it's not like that Bears pick isn't like asinine because they have all the pieces. They just neglected to get guys that actually care about Caleb
It's
Williams'
just the
health.
fact that they're the Bears, and that's what
Yeah,
happened.
they're the Bears and their management's like, oh yeah, we have great skill players, and then you remember there's guys that have to protect one of your most valuable assets, and they just didn't do that.
Yeah, instead they went after a wide receiver, which I mean, maybe in the future that's going to work out, but as of right now, I think the bigger hole was absolutely the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like 67 sacks. It's like the fifth or sixth most in a single season, and I was low key rooting for them to break the sack record, but that would require 12 sacks from your defense in one game, and I don't. Unfortunately, that's not feasible. As much as I'm rooting for it, that's just not.
12?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
basically none of the drives that he would have would work. You guys have to score, sack him once or twice on every possession. Like that's just obviously it's not realistic. So that's kind of one of those where it's like I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Caleb. I don't feel bad for the fans. I feel bad for Caleb.
Yeah.
I don't hate Caleb Williams and the guys that they have, but when fans get overly excited about their teams,
The most sacks that we've had in one game, the Green Bay Packers, is 9.
Was that the Clay Matthews and AJ Hawk era?
No, that was 1965.
Oh, okay, so when your great grandpappy was a Packers fan.
Oh, and 2005. There's a tie. 2005, and so no, not the Clay Matthews era.
Yeah, both those predate AJ Hawk and Clay Matthews, unfortunately.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was half expecting that to be like your Super Bowl season, your one Super Bowl season where you guys just went nuts.
The one we were like 10-6 that season. That wasn't a special season.
You
We
guys
were a
won
six
Super.
brother, we were a 6 seed that year.
That's what.
And then the year after, we went 15-1 and then got bounced in the second round, our first round, to the Giants.
Oh, okay. So I was
The
gonna say,
only two teams we lost to that season were the Chiefs, who were like 4-12 or whatever, and then the Giants in the second round.
wait, so you're telling me you lost the Giants in the playoffs too?
We didn't lose to Daniel Jones. We lost to Eli Manning. There's a little
Yeah,
bit of a difference there. I would say there's a little bit of a difference there.
maybe just a little bit, but I'm still gonna make fun of you for it, unfortunately. Because
I
you
think you just have to because that's the only thing you have on that
can't
season.
do it. And then, see, I can
Because we literally won it all. You can't like say anything.
I'm saying, but then, yeah, I can chirp you all I want, but I remember you lost to a Giants team that knocked off Tom Brady twice. You lost to the Giants quarterback,
Yeah, come
the only one
on.
who's beaten Tom Brady multiple times in the Super
Right.
Bowl. It's that's kind of one of those where it's like Packers fans on Twitter were pulling out the rings argument immediately. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm like, but you lost to the Giants too, so
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
screaming into the void for lack of a better term. So
I do want to go through the picks for this week to kind of see, but the difference this week is I want to come to an agreement with all the picks and then go into maybe a possible look for the playoffs and kind of see what the teams are going to be, what teams are going up against each other in the playoffs. We have the 9-7 Seahawks who are eliminated at the Los Angeles Rams who have clinched that spot. If they lose and the Bucks win, they get the 4 seed and face either the Lions or the Vikings. So I'm taking the Rams easily in that one because they have something to play for.
that's the tough part about that's the tough part about these games is what do you have to play? Like even with the Lions last night, it's like okay, you know what your fate is next week. You have to go win a game to go secure a one seed.
Well, they
Why
didn't have to win that game last
That's
night.
my point.
Just
I'm saying like why
yeah,
play them? That was the whole controversy surrounding that game was what how long you want to play your stars if you play your stars at all in a game that
right,
the Niners can't get for anything and you don't need for anything. So
right. And you're already just what you have like what 22 people in IR. Most of that's in your secondary.
yeah, I think there's like at minimum nine. There's been nine regular starters on that. I saw some graphic. It was like nine healthy starters consistently for more than
Yeah.
like consecutive weeks in a row. So it was some wild number. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
I'm gonna
So
take the
we're
Rams.
taking the Rams for sure. They're going to end the season 11-6. Seahawks will end
Hey Clint,
their
can't they
season.
clinch?
Hmm?
Can the Rams clinch any other way, or can they move up? They can't move up. They can only
No,
move up if they lose.
no, the Eagles are 13-3 currently. They're not even going to be
Yeah,
close.
they can't go anywhere with any of that.
No. Here's a game that doesn't matter. Niners at Cardinals. I took the Niners because I guess not really a team, not really a game we care about as far as January 5th goes.
I mean, if you want to watch points be scored,
If
if you like
you're
offense,
watching Red Zone and they're in the red zone, maybe take a peek
yeah.
at it, but that's about it. Um, Bears at Packers. Unless the Commanders lose, we don't really have anything to play for. So realistically, this could be a game that we drop and we'd still be the 7 seed.
The
I
Bears,
don't see it happening though.
yeah, the Bears, even with an motivation advantage, just to beat you guys for the sake of beating you guys, I still don't think they're gonna do it.
No. Yeah,
You guys won games with Malik Willis. You employed Malik Willis and still won games. So
yeah. And at this point, You are what? The anywhere between what five? Probably I think you're about eighth right now
In what?
for the draft order.
Ooh, the Bears? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Bears are 8, and if they lose, they probably I'd imagine they get into the top
No,
5.
they're nine.
They're 9?
They're nine. Well, if they lose and everyone else wins, they'd be in the top five. But as of right now, they're going to be nine. That's
Yeah.
where they're going to be at.
And we all know they're not going to take an offensive line. They should take an offensive lineman with their first round pick. We all know they're not going to.
What do you think they would do?
It's the Bears. I don't know.
Hmm. Well, okay. Well, Commanders at Cowboys. See if we again if they lose this game, the Packers win. We're going to be going to LA. So
Which
we're rooting for the Cowboys this week, which I don't think I've
yeah,
ever
which is
said in
probably
my
where
entire
you want to
life.
go because I don't want to play Philly either, and my team has a shot at the 1 seed.
Well, in a scenario where that happens, Hurts is going to be rusty. He hasn't been playing in 3 weeks at that point.
Yeah,
I think we are not the same team as we were in week one. Okay.
we beat
And
Green
we
Bay.
lost by 5 points in week one.
Yeah,
Is this a redemption game? I think it's entirely possible that we could beat them. Am I worried? Yes, obviously. I'd rather play Stafford than the Rams. But give me the Commanders here. I think they have something to play for. They're going to want to play LA and the Rams. So um,
yeah.
I'm going to take them in the W.
I'm gonna take the Commanders, but I wouldn't be shocked if Cooper Rush and the Cowboys somehow spoil that
That'd
entire.
be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I don't think they would do that for us, though.
No,
Realistically.
they would do that for the sake of being a division rival.
Yeah. All right. If the Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win, the Falcons get the 4 seed.
Yeah, because the Falcons swept them in both games.
Are
So
they going to lose to the Saints though? No, they're not.
no, and then the
I,
Falcons play Carolina. So if you're the
I think
Falcons,
the
lay
I
up too.
think the Falcons will still win that game.
Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm taking both those two teams, but I feel bad for Baker. Baker's gonna miss the playoffs. Assume unless
No, Baker's not going to make the playoffs. They're going to beat the Saints and
well,
they're going to be a 4 seed.
well no, if they get in, if they win and Atlanta wins, Atlanta still gets the tiebreaker. Yeah.
No, they'd be 9-8.
Oh, I didn't do math. Oh, I forgot they're actually still one game better. Oh yeah, so
Yeah, they're 1 game behind.
oh yeah, okay, I guess yeah, they're not gonna lose to the Saints, so they're probably in. And I don't want to play Baker if I'm the loser of that NFC North Championship game,
Yeah, I'd rather play the Rams. Rams are that's the best spot you could be in.
which is
So
weird.
we're just hoping on a Commander's loss. That's it, and we're
Which
in.
is weird because one of our two losses was to the Rams on a Thursday night football game where Sam Darnold's head was turned sideways.
You were still at like the 5 yard
But
line. You
yeah,
had
granted, we moved out to the 20. I'm not saying we would have won the game, but he
yeah,
almost died. My Pookie Bear almost died, bro.
whatever.
Whatever.
Okay. Giants at Eagles. Eagles don't have anything to play for.
They're
Um,
probably going to rest Jalen Hurts, and what I imagine they'll do is Saquon will they'll tries to get Saquon the record as fast as they physically can, and then get him out of the game immediately. If they
Even then, I don't even think they might. I don't even know
if
if
they
they would
play
do
him at
that.
all, that's what I'm saying. I think it's either they don't play him at all, or they get him enough yards to break Dickerson's record, and then they pull him out because we're like, we need this guy here in 2 weeks when we play
But
Green
the
Bay.
thing is what are the odds that the Giants actually want to win another game? Because if they win, they're at the lowest, the fifth overall pick.
Really? Even though they have the same record as the Bears?
Yep, it looks like the Giants are above them.
That's strength of schedule, right? That's the next tiebreaker.
Yep, strength
Yeah,
of schedule
tiebreaker.
0.544 for the Giants and 0.557
Oh wow, so
Bears. So,
separated by percentage points, yeah.
mhm.
So, but then
So
again, Drew Lock wasn't supposed to win the Colts game either, and again, he threw for 309 yards and 4 tuds. So,
yeah, I'm still taking the Eagles here.
yeah, I will because Kenny Pickett
Kenny Pick'em will pick them apart.
is yeah, Kenny
Say that
Pickett.
5 times fast.
Yeah, I'd have a stroke after like the third one.
So that leaves us with, let's check it out. Well, actually, we have one more game. Vikings, Lions.
I don't need to explain this one. You know who I'm picking. You
Yeah,
know
well,
what
so
I'm
we
picking.
have to agree on it, and I'm not agreeing with that.
I mean, Purdy and the you saw what Purdy and the Niners did offensively to
That's
Detroit.
a game that they didn't really care about.
It doesn't matter. They still walked them down the field.
The
Like
effort was not there, bro. The effort for that game was not there because they knew it wouldn't matter. If they lost that game, it wouldn't matter. It means nothing.
I just I
You're
have
talking about a game that means nothing. Like, I don't know. That
I
doesn't
know
that
what you
doesn't
mean.
move anything to me.
I know what you mean. I just
And then
don't
you just beat the 7 seed by 2 points. What's the difference?
beat you guys
You
by
just
two
beat the
points.
7 seed for
All
two
right.
points. They beat the Niners by 6. What's the difference?
I don't know. I mean, they're
Nothing. There's
34
not a
points
difference.
though against a Niners team with nothing to play for. Whether you're trying or not, those guys are playing for their jobs, Jack.
Okay, but you forget they they scored more points than 34, right? They won that game. They just dropped 40 like it was Madden.
I don't think they're doing that again. I'm not saying we're not gonna, I'm not
No,
saying
they're not, I'm not saying they're going to get 40. I'm just saying like you're not going up against a very inconsistent quarterback in Jordan Love anymore. You are going up against probably the most consistent quarterback in the league right now.
check down
And
merchant.
on top of that, Amon Ra has dropped what I think 2 passes this entire season. The most consistent duo, not the best duo, but probably the most consistent duo in the entire league. And
Yeah,
the defense, regardless of what happened last game, is still a phenomenal defense, even with all of the injuries.
yeah. Jared Goff checked on merchants losing to Ginger Jesus. I'm not elaborating any further,
You know what? This isn't going to be something we're going to be able to agree on. I'm picking the Lions.
and that's
They're
fine.
just they're just the better team, and
We
I'm
need,
not.
we need some disagreement here, Jack. I need you to advocate for Jared Goff right now.
Hell yeah, I'm advocating for Jared Goff,
Good. I want it that way.
and I'm
Raven.
not saying it's impossible, but from what we've seen, they are the better team. Kevin O'Connell, you can give him the coach of the year if you want to. But even when this team isn't healthy, this is just as much of a contender as the Vikings are fully healthy.
I was gonna say, and this, I mean, there's a reason this is on Sunday Night Football because I think it's gonna be game of the year by a mile.
Yeah, not even game of the week. This is game of the year. I mean, there's two teams here that are 14-2, one in the same division, two in the last game of the year. Three, they're going after the 1 seed, both of them.
And like the loser has to take a
The
trip.
winner gets the 1 seed. The loser has to go into
Loser has to go to
Tampa.
Tampa to play Baker in the first round.
Yeah,
Like that's
like
just
that's. I'm taking the loser of this game. I'm taking in Tampa regardless.
yeah,
But give me their. I'm getting the Lions in this game.
yeah,
So that leaves us with the 1 seed being Detroit or Minnesota if you're Owen, and then it's going to be Eagles hosting the Packers. It's going to be Rams hosting the Commanders, and it's going to be the Bucks hosting the Vikings or Lions.
yeah. Insert loser of NFC North Championship game.
Yeah,
So
and if they tie, it's going to be the Vikings, obviously.
wouldn't it be Detroit?
No, they won earlier in the year. They have
Well, if they
they have the
tie,
tiebreaker.
what if they tie? Wouldn't it be Detroit because Detroit beat us the first time?
Yes, so they would be the 1 seed.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
confused.
No, they would have the 1 seed if they
If
won
they
or if
tie,
they
it would be
tied.
the Vikings as the one seed, unless
Yeah,
we're.
going no, I was referring to them going to Tampa.
Oh, okay. I was.
Okay, moving on to the AFC. Um, Chargers at Raiders.
We're taking the Chargers here because again, I think they have. They're
They
in a
got something to play
scenario.
for.
I say they. I think they have to win to just get in, let alone move up. So
If they lose and the Broncos win, they're still the 6 seed,
yeah,
actually.
and there's a different game that the Broncos are worried about too. They're not. I don't think they're worried about the
Um,
much.
well, if they win, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If Oh, right, no, they're 10-6, bro. So
Yeah.
if they drop to 10-7, no, they're in the playoffs regardless.
Yeah, they're in regardless. That seven seed is the only one that's up for debate because
No,
like
it's not because if 9-7, what other 9-7 teams? There's no other 9-7 teams that they're competing with.
Bengals. If the Bengals get that one done on
They're
Saturday,
8-8.
yeah, but if they get that one done on Saturday and then the Broncos lose, I'm pretty sure the Bengals get in by virtue of some
No, we're
tiebreakers.
talking about the Chargers though. There's no
Yeah, Chargers are in, but I'm saying
Chargers are locked in at that 6 seed regardless, it looks like. Unless
Steelers lose. Oh, the Steelers beat.
yeah, Steelers lose.
I don't think the Steelers ever played the Chargers, so there's no head-to-head there.
Yeah. So Steelers, oh, okay. If if they're both 10-7, it's going to be the Steelers at the 5th seed.
Really? Oh yeah, I
Yep.
guess. Yeah, so Chargers
So
can't go any higher than five.
but I think they'll still go for that 5th seed just in case the Steelers lose. So I'm taking them in the win.
Yeah.
I'm still taking the Broncos. The Chiefs have nothing to play for. They're not going to be starting Mahomes. They're not going to be starting Kelsey. They're not going to be starting Jones.
Yeah, Denver needs this game and Denver needs this game just to get in.
Yeah, the Chiefs would only play their starters in spite of the Broncos,
Yeah,
which is really
stupid.
unintelligent thing to do. Yeah.
Which is also weird because they're gonna get the bye, so Patrick Mahomes isn't gonna have played in 3 weeks.
So maybe he'll play like the first two halves, go up by
I
14,
I
and then
could see him
just
playing like the first quarter, get a couple drives and make sure he's not
yeah.
rusty.
Um, I'm taking the Titans in this one because the Texans don't have anything to play for. They're just gonna be stuck. They don't care.
Yeah, they can't.
This is just gonna
They,
be backups against backups,
yeah, they
and
can't.
pick your poison.
Yeah, I'll
So I'm
take
just taking the
Tennessee
home
there.
team.
Take Tennessee there for the sake of the fact that yeah, the Texans can't move. They won their division like 3 weeks ago.
Hmm. Um, Jaguars at Colts,
Again,
home team, I guess.
shitty bowl. I guess Anthony Richardson's gonna cook and
If the Yeah, so if the Broncos lose and the Bengals win, we're looking at the Bengals at the 7th seed, which is crazy to me.
yeah. So and that Bengals game's on Saturday. I think for the fact that if they win that game, which is a tough ask in and of itself,
I think I'm taking them
yeah, I'm gonna pick the
still.
Bengals here because
Steelers have been really cold recently.
that and the Steelers are in pretty much no matter what, other than winning. I guess obviously winning the division, but the
No,
ben
keeping that fifth. No, that's actually a really important game because they need to keep that 5th seed to go to Houston. Otherwise, they're going to Baltimore.
yeah, which here's
That's
the
rough.
problem. Baltimore plays the Browns, who are starting DTR. So
It wouldn't matter because they're going to be the 3 seed regardless.
I'm saying if they win, if the Ravens win that game, the Steelers game doesn't matter as much aside from
Yes,
staying.
it does because it matters because of the Chargers. Because if the Chargers win and the Steelers lose, they're the 6 seed and they're going to be
Let's say,
facing the 3
yeah,
seed.
yeah. I don't like the Steelers either, so I'm gonna take whoever they're playing. I fear. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
I'm going to take the Bengals too, simply because of Joe Burrow. I don't know.
Yeah, Joe, yeah.
They're hot right now. They're just hot right now.
This game's either gonna be 44-41 or it's gonna be 17-10.
Yeah. 3-13 Browns at the 11-5
Again, like I
Ravens.
said, the Browns are starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson in the year of our Lord 2025. So, I
Oh,
mean,
but if the Ravens lose and the Steelers win,
there's win the division.
Steelers win the division and they'd be the 5 seed,
I
which
don't
you
think
almost would
that
rather that happen because you'd be going to Houston instead of hosting either the Chargers or the Steelers. Would you not rather go to Houston?
you would, but then you remember, I'm pretty sure you'd have to go play the 2 seed Bills afterwards. So your reward is either Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, depending on the outcome of the other game.
If you're the 5 seed, you beat the Texans and everything else is chalk, you're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, so they're cooked either way. The winner of that game is
So it
cooked.
wouldn't matter because one, you're either going to Buffalo, assuming Buffalo wins, assuming it's chalk, or you're going to Kansas City. So it's not like you're going to host another. home game. So it would only matter if you would rather face the Chargers or Steelers versus going to Houston. I would be fine with hosting the Steelers at this point because they're not playing great football right now.
So,
Chargers, on the other hand,
quietly have like
I do not want to play them.
I
I know
say,
they just beat the Patriots, but they beat them by 33.
yeah,
Oh my God.
you know. There was a graphic that like points allowed this season. I'm pretty sure the Chargers defense leads the league in points allowed, and nobody was talking about it. Like
The
everyone was,
Chargers?
yeah, everyone was glazing. It was dropped a couple weeks ago. The Chargers is like 242, the Vikings are 244. Everyone was glazing my Vikings in the comments, which is great. And I'm like, why are we not talking about the Chargers being the number one ranked defense in the points allowed combined? Like no one was quietly
Oh,
talking.
that. Oh, I thought you said you mean last because if you're last in points allowed, that means they haven't scored a lot of points.
Well, I'm saying their defense hasn't allowed a lot. Like they lead the league
Yeah,
in
I
like
get that now.
they've allowed like 242 total points.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so I'm just gonna take the Ravens because they do have something to play for. And I'm
yeah,
taking
Lamar has to make one more, add one more chapter to his MVP case.
yeah. But if the Bengals win, then it's gonna be the Steelers going to Baltimore now.
Yeah, which
That's the
that game would
difference.
be cinema.
It would be because they're 1-1 this year, so be a fun game. Bills at Patriots.
I feel
Bills
like
never tend to win in
I mean they
New
struggled
England.
with him the second time they're playing him in 3 weeks, and they struggled with him last time. Here's the interesting part about this one though. 2 weeks ago they had something to play for. Like they were still making sure they lock up 2 seed because they had to lock up 2 seed last week. They can't get any higher. So
And low or lower.
I say I'd be shocked if they play their starters.
But the thing is, if the Patriots lose, they're getting the number one pick in the draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo because again, Buffalo's backups are gonna be better than the starters for the Patriots in general.
Yeah, that's fair. We're gonna do the 8-8 Dolphins at the 4-12 Jets.
The
What's
disappointment.
so the scenario of them getting in is if if the Broncos lose and the Bengals lose and they win, they're in.
Yeah, and
Which is a wild thing to say.
again, yeah, I don't know how they're 8-8. I kind of forgot about them because Tyreek stopped producing for me in fantasy, so I
Right.
kind of stopped paying attention. Like obviously, I was looking at scores and box scores and stuff, but they're just kind of there. And even if they do win, think about who the 2 seed is, and think about what kind of weather is in Buffalo.
Yeah. So it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and even if they somehow manage to upset Buffalo, they'd have to go to Kansas City, and I know I can guarantee they're not beating Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead.
Oh God.
There's two,
But
maybe
if they're capable of beating the Bills, they can beat the Chiefs,
I
though.
was gonna say there's 3 teams in the
That's
AFC.
a gauntlet, though.
There's 3 teams in the AFC that can legitimately beat the Chiefs. It's the Ravens, it's the Bills, and again, your dark horse would be the Chargers.
Over the
Dark horse.
Steelers?
No, I shit on the Steelers and then rescinded my comments prematurely.
I
I'm back to shitting on the Steelers. Mike Tomlin got his 10 or 11 wins. Maybe they'll win the division. They'll win maybe a playoff game, and then he's out.
So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins then.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Dolphins because there's still an incentive to win that game.
Right. Even though all the other teams that they're wanting to lose will
I'd say by
win.
the time they get to this game, it might not even matter. So
So that would leave us with Buffalo hosting the Broncos,
correct.
Baltimore hosting the Steelers, and Houston hosting the Chargers.
Again, other than that 4-5 game, the rest of them are pretty good. Because I feel like everyone's gonna dump on the Texans for winning a garbage division. And it's the same reason we dump on the winner of the NFC South is because all those teams are awful.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so Chargers going into to Houston. I I think it's pretty consensus. We're gonna go with the Chargers.
yes, I mean, if there was ever a game the Texans would randomly win, it would be that one. For the sake of being like, hey, we won a playoff game. You guys dumped on us all year, but
This
I'm
is
gonna take the Chargers.
this might be a crazy thing to say, but I think the most realistic upset wouldn't be that,
It
like
would,
the Texans beating the Chargers.
yeah, it would be
Wouldn't
the
be that.
3-6 game.
No, I believe,
You
brother.
believe they're gonna go into? Buffalo and beat a one-man army?
I
Give me
think
my
they're
move.
they could. I probably have Buffalo going to the Super Bowl, but I mean, you know the term any given Sunday. It's
Yeah.
any given Sunday. And that defense, if they if they pressure Josh Allen, make his life difficult, having him toss the football right away, 3 seconds. If they're able to do that, they can upset. I'm not going to say it, but I'm just going to say it might be a close game. I'm
Yeah,
picking the Bills, but it
I'm
might be a
by
close
no
game.
means saying they can't do it. The only way I could see it happening is Buffalo's defense getting it into turning it into a track meet where they can't stop Bo Nix and the Broncos offense.
Yeah.
Because that's the matchup you're gonna watch. Josh Allen can torch pretty much any defense he's seen. Again, the Broncos defense is probably better than one he's seen recently, but the matchup in that game
Kidding me?
would be Bo Nix and the Broncos offense against that, and not putrid Bills defense because they're a little bit beat up. It's a little bit of a reach, but if the Bills defense wins that matchup, they'll win that game by 2 scores.
Well, think about this. He's used to going up against shit defenses. Last 3 weeks, Patriots twice, the Jets once. They haven't faced a great football team or a great defensive football team at least since
Over a
week
month.
15.
Yeah, and over a month.
It was when they went to Detroit. So maybe they're a little rusty. Maybe just because they haven't seen like a playoff team in a minute. In a minute, like I said, I'm still taking the Bills. I think I feel like you have to take the Ravens here. I mean, if you're not rooting for the Ravens to go to Buffalo in the divisional round, you don't like football.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
not wanting the Baltimore Ravens to win, you're either one a Steelers fan, two a Browns fan, three a Bengals fan, or you just don't like football. That's it.
yeah.
Everyone else, you want the Ravens to win. Obviously, right?
I think
Because
you
we
do
want to see them go to Buffalo.
because then
That's
if
cinema.
let's say the Chargers win that 4-5 game, then you got a divisional matchup in Arrowhead, Chargers Chiefs for the third time that season, and then you've got Lamar versus Josh Allen, the two
The
consent.
MVP, when does the MVP come out? Is it going to be before or after this game?
I think it gets announced before the wild card round, and then they
Okay, so we're going to know who wins by this game,
yeah,
which gives both of them incentives.
NFL MVP announced 2025. Oh no, days ahead of the Super Bowl, but remember this, it's a regular season award, so that game, winner of that game,
Well, obviously, but I'm just saying
I mean,
if it was picked beforehand,
I
that
feel
would
like
have
it
been
might be
nice.
considered. I bet you they have the votes cast and submitted by then. And they just don't reveal it until NFL honors before the Super Bowl.
Well, if it was what they were supposed to be doing, yeah, that would be what they were doing.
Yeah,
But
because you can't. The problem is with MVP is if you don't make a regular season award, then you've got the 7 teams that make it in. You've got any quarterback in MVP contention who gets an extra game to prove their case. It's kind
I
of like
thought
Ashley Genty with the Heisman. Like you get that.
I thought they did it like before the conference championship round.
Yeah, it says the NFL MVP will announce days ahead of the Super Bowl,
Okay, well,
which would be first week in February or last
yeah.
week in February.
Okay, so we have, yeah, the Chargers, Ravens, Bills. Moving on to the NFC, it's pretty clear that the Vikings should win this game. If they're gonna get upset by anyone in the first round, it would be the Bucks. I almost want to pick an upset, but I feel like that'd be too much bias.
I mean, I think the Vikings, if you would have placed them in Tampa right now, the Vikings would be favored.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm not denying that in the slightest, but I would smell a little upset, and I would be interested in watching that game. Like, I'm not. This isn't like the Chargers going into Houston, because I feel like that's kind of a simple answer. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Chargers
probably the Chargers.
possibility Chargers
By
could be favored in that game too.
yeah, by 10 probably. But this game, yeah, sure, you could easily blow them out, but at the same time, I think they could make it difficult. I'm taking the Vikings. They've lost like one game this season. That's a one score game.
Yeah,
They're clutch.
I'm gonna take them for the sheer fact that that would set up another trip to Detroit if everything goes chalk. So
We'll get there. We'll get there. Commanders at LA.
Jaden
Ah,
Daniels isn't ready for playoff football. Great rookie season, kind of like CJ Stroud had, but we saw what CJ Stroud flamed out in the playoffs. I'm taking the Rams.
I can agree with that. I'm taking the Rams too.
Now again,
Mr. Fundamental.
I'm never ruling out an upset entirely. I just don't. If there was a, I just don't see it in that game.
I can agree with that. Hmm. Absolutely. Green Bay at Philadelphia. We're gonna bite some kneecaps. We're gonna get a couple picks. Don't forget what happened last year. No one picked us in the first round, not even me.
I want to take the Eagles so
This
bad.
team is so fun. This team is really hot. We went from being down 27 to 10 by 9 minutes to go in the ninth in the fourth quarter to having one drive to possibly win the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Granted,
pick.
I didn't watch that at the ending of that game because I turned off the TV when it was 27 to 10.
Yeah, you rage quit being a fan. Just kidding.
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna deny it. I did. I was pissed.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna pick you guys for the sheer fact that if there was ever a seven seed to take down the Eagles and get cost Nick Sirianni his job, it would be a Matt LaFleur coached football team.
yeah,
I'm gonna
we
pick
did
you
it last
guys.
year. Why can't we do it again? Why can't when we
I,
got better this season we're better by far a better team. Why can't we do it again? We
say
did
it.
it last year.
I don't want to, but I'm taking you guys.
I'm taking Green Bay. That's not even bias. I don't feel like I'm speaking from bias either. I think they did it already last year. They
Yeah.
beat a team who last year, not this year, obviously, they're probably going to end the season 7 and 10. But last year, when they went 13 and 4 and got the 2 seed, they were 8 and 0 at home. It wasn't close.
Yeah,
When
you got
they're home, that's a
dog.
great football team. And then Green Bay comes in and whoops their ass, and it's 27 and nothing by the end of the second quarter.
So wild, dude. I don't football's weird
Why
like
can't we do it again? Why
football's
not?
weird like that.
I was really hoping to go to LA, but you know what? Fuck it. I believe in
Okay,
this team.
we'll go to the link. We'll pull up and go to the link.
We want Detroit
Because
or Minnesota.
if you guys win, then you'd head to the one seed. Let's just for argument's sake, we'll say it's Detroit, right?
Yep.
And then that sends us to
LA.
oh my God.
Moving on to the next round, actually.
For the Rams again, dog. Matthew Stafford
No,
just
no, 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 no. Oh, wait. Oops. And yeah. Yeah, you go to the Rams because I accidentally picked the Eagles here. There we go.
Matthew Stafford torched the Vikings in Lions colors for years. I can't go through that again. I can't do
You're
it.
going to have to if you lose next week.
I can't do it. Oh my God.
All right. Let's let's give you a second to process that.
I'm still taking us. They're not beating it. They're not beating us again.
Green Bay at Detroit.
You guys split. No, they sweep you?
They did sweep us this year, but it was close games each time.
Yeah.
We're coming for revenge.
God. God damn it, Jack.
Please, I genuinely don't feel like this is bias. So I'm trying hard not to be biased right now. Trying my best. I haven't decided who I want to pick this team yet, but like for this game. But if any of these teams, these paths, if any of these teams goes on a Cinderella story, who is it? Is it the Commanders?
No.
Is it
It's gonna be
the
a team in there.
Steelers? Is it the Broncos?
It's gonna be an NFC North team. I don't know which one, but it's gonna be one of those two.
Well, you and Detroit aren't going to be a Cinderella run. You're supposed to be there. You're at most 3 losses on the season. It should be you two in the championship game for the NFC. It should be. You are a better team than Philly.
See
Like
you
I hope you know right now, like you are the second best team in the NFC right now. Right now, I'm saying, currently, this very moment, not probably 5 weeks ago. I wasn't confident yet. You're better than Philly. We could potentially beat Philly. Okay? You're number two. You're supposed to be there. That's not a Cinderella story. Green Bay would be. We did it on Thanksgiving last year. It's possible that we can do it again. Like last season, yes, we beat up on the Cowboys, but who cares? It's the Cowboys. They always lose in the playoffs. But then we went into San Francisco and we had a game-winning drive, and Love showed that he didn't have the experience. But now he does. And that was the team that went to the Super Bowl and almost beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We almost beat that team. So did the Lions. We're right there.
I
We're right
just
there.
for you guys to be able to beat the top two seeds in the league off rip. Here's the problem though. What'd you guys do after you went to the NFC Championship? You
We didn't
melt.
go to the NFC Championship. We didn't.
No, you guys were 7th seed the year you lost to the Niners 2 years ago.
With Rodgers, this is a completely different team. No, we missed the playoffs 2 years ago.
I thought that Packers team that went and lost to the Niners was a Jordan Love led team. Am I not,
No, 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 no. You're
is my
tripping.
history wrong there?
Last year was his first year starting.
Oh yeah, I guess his first full year and he played it's
He
like
played a couple games, but
okay. Never mind. I just don't
he never played in the playoffs until
yeah.
Cowboys.
I was gonna say I don't see you guys knocking off back-to-back seeds in a row. I'm taking Detroit. Not confidently, but I'm taking Detroit. I am
Dude,
tentatively
they could do it. I'm just saying I'm
they
picking
could.
Detroit. I'm picking
And,
Detroit. They could do it.
and every game pick I make, I'm not ruling out an upset because it's entirely possible. I'm just taking Detroit.
Dude, it's even possible that the Rams beat you guys too.
Oh yeah, no, again, I'm not ruling that out.
Like, then if the Rams win and we miraculously beat Detroit, we're going to LA for the NFC Championship game. That is more realistic than a lot of these
Matt
things that
Stafford
we go
and the
through.
Packers, dude. There's so many like he could go up against three
He
teams.
was just in the Super Bowl 3 years ago.
Yeah, and he could go up against teams that he's torched for years, or he could go up against the franchise that got him his start. Like, there's that storyline
Yeah,
too.
there's that storyline too, where yeah, LA beats you guys, they beat us, and boom, he's going to the Detroit again, just like last year.
He'd be welcomed back like a hero,
Yeah,
putting up with 10 bad years in Detroit. But
not his fault.
for the sake of argument, we'll say Detroit and the Rams on that side. For the sake
Detroit
of,
and the Rams?
yeah, I just no.
It could easily happen. You
That's
could
what
easily
that's what I'm
because
saying.
dude, it's the Vikings. You
Yeah,
have to remember it's like let me take this off, dude. Like this isn't me talking as a Packer fan. Let's just be real. It's the Vikings. They do this shit. That's just another storyline that could easily happen is oh,
I'm
they
just
get
saying
bounced
though.
and it's the Rams going to Detroit.
I just have
What if
sick.
we just both lost?
It's either we lose in the divisional round or we're going to the Super Bowl. There's nothing in between.
Maybe unless Detroit wins and you're going to Detroit for the third time this year, which would not be fun.
No.
You do not want to go through that 3 times in 1 year. You
So
won't win the Super Bowl if
did
that
you pick
happens.
us in that Rams game?
I
Gun.
like I like the idea of picking LA and just getting rid of both of our teams. It's
I think we
so
have,
possible.
for the sake of being unbiased, I think we have to pick a reality where both of our teams get bounced in the
Let's
division.
do it. Okay. Detroit hosting LA. Oh, before we move on to the AFC, I just want to go through this quick. You beat LA, we upset Detroit. We're going to Minnesota for the NFC Championship
Oh my
game.
God. That's nuts.
Could happen.
We live in a
It easily
society.
could happen.
We live in a society.
But let's go Rams. Let's go Detroit. At this point, is Hutchinson back? Or someone's coming back by the NFC Championship game. I
I,
thought it was Hutchinson.
if they get the one seed, he might even play in that divisional game if you give him an extra week. But yeah,
I
probably.
don't think that's how it
Or, I
works.
think it's Super Bowl. Like I said, if they go the distance, he'll play. He might
I
play.
think he would go to the NFC Championship game though. I thought that was the thing that I saw. I thought that was him.
If you win the NFC Championship, you get 2 weeks off anyway before you get a week off and then you get a week to prep for the game anyway.
Yeah.
So
Let's just go LA Detroit. Moving on. LA Rams. I'm sorry. The LA Chargers. Sorry, we were just talking about the Rams. LA Chargers at Kansas City. This is after 2 weeks off, pretty much. Because you lose to Denver, and then you had your bye week. But still,
I'm not. Yeah, I love Justin Herbert, but
you know how many AFC Championship games that Tom Brady has gone to? I don't know the exact number, but he's been to what, 8 Super Bowls?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
he's been to 9 because he's won 7. He's lost 2 to Manning and 1 to Foles. So he's been to 9. He didn't normally get bounced in the divisional round. He consistently was at the AFC Championship game,
Yeah,
whether it was against the Colts, the Broncos, whoever.
yeah. I think Kansas City's gonna win that game. I think they're
Yeah,
just.
this is just a team that's always going to be right there.
I was gonna say I wanted to look for an alternate reality where they don't magically go on a run, but it's Patrick. It's Patrick Mahomes, man. It's just
Wow, you know what that reminded me of?
Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes.
Mahomes. Looks a little Mahomey there.
Yeah.
Okay, the 3 seed Baltimore at the 2 seed Buffalo Bills. Keep in mind, this is mid-January after an 8-inch snowfall. Okay? This that's the scenario here right now.
You got
Give me the
local
Bills.
citizens shoveling Deion Dawkins out of his driveway.
Exactly. Give me the Bills.
I'm
Pretty
taking the
easily. I think pretty easily too.
no, because at some point that defense is going to leak. They allowed 42 to the
Dude, the
Rams.
secondary of Baltimore, he's gonna just rip it down the field. They're not gonna stop Josh Allen.
What's to say Lamar and Derrick Henry don't torch the Bills defense too? At
So
home?
they win 58-44.
Yeah,
Whatever.
like that.
Gonna be a high scoring game,
You think
but
Josh Allen's
regardless, they're not stopping Josh Allen. Not, probably not even once.
okay for the sake of the argument, and I think the sake of the game that everybody would want, the AFC Championship will take the Bills.
We want the Bills. America wants the Bills. Objectively, we want Baltimore and the Bills in the NFC Championship game, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get that. The 3 seed Rams at the 1 seed Detroit Lions.
I'm gonna take Detroit again because they're just at this point they're on a roll. If you win next week, then you parlay that into a divisional win. At that point, they're red hot and have won like their last like 5 games.
Or they were just completely depleted.
That too. At some point they might run
This
out of
team
gas.
might just break down from all the injuries. It's entirely possible it happens right here. In Detroit fashion too.
Dude, the city of
Because we can
Detroit.
go back to last week. I have my Packer hat off. It's the Vikings. You it's the Vikings. Here, it's the Lions, dude.
The city of
They did
Detroit.
it last year. They blew that 10-point lead to the Niners, to a
Yeah,
team that knows what they're doing when it comes to Super Bowls, getting like creating great organizations.
I just know the city of Detroit is gonna implode. If they lose in the NFC Championship game again,
But
it's
if they're this depleted, 22 people on IR.
but my
Probably 24, 25 at this point.
mind you, if they win that game, you get some of those guys back because they get an extra week. So it does how many of those guys do you get back with an extra week off? Are we factoring that in? 'Cause let's say they win,
That-
let's say they beat us next
But
Sunday.
if they were already on IR, there wasn't possibility that they'd be back anyway for the wild card round.
Long term IR, I suppose. Yeah. So
So it wouldn't matter.
Are we taking the Rams? Are we gonna have Matt Stafford legacy run?
I feel like I'm taking the Rams. Like, what if it's just none of us? It's not at all any of the
Just
like not
this
me,
whole
not
time.
you, not Hermione. Shout out Harry Potter fans. Not Detroit. What if it's the Rams? I can see. Well,
In a year where the Commanders get in with a rookie QB, and then there's an NFC North team that's a 5 seed with 14 wins,
a lot of the time, yeah,
I can totally see the Rams just accidentally going on a run.
yeah.
They would host two of the first three playoff games,
It's crazy is that's the team that we were just talking about like 10 minutes ago of the team that would be the team that we'd want to see in the first round
which is
over like. But then I don't
football's
know what.
weird, man. Football's weird.
Yeah, any given Sunday, man. Let's take LA. You're going to the Super Bowl. Screw it.
Yeah,
The 2 seed Bills at the 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs.
seen this movie before. Seen this movie 1,000 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're taking the Chiefs?
Yeah, Chiefs have one loss, and there's a Josh Allen regular season. That was a scheduled loss, so that we didn't accuse the NFL of scripting games this hard.
I could easily see this happening. This isn't, ladies and gentlemen, this is not the Super Bowl that you want. It's not the Super Bowl that I want. It's not the Super Bowl that Owen wants. But it's the Super Bowl that's going to happen.
Yeah, the Chiefs. Unfortunately, I just think the Chiefs are going to be involved. At this point, we're going to be all the storylines are going to be about who's going to win the NFC because the AFC is not wrapped up, but it can anybody beat the Chiefs? And the
I
answer is
mean,
no.
let's be
The answer
real.
is
We
no
we
since
want to see Lamar versus the Lions. We want to see the Bills versus the Vikings as far as general NFL fans. But
yeah,
sorry to break it to you. It's not how it works. You
no.
can't just will a team into the Super Bowl. You can't. That's just not how it works.
I hope we revisit this in a month and a half and we're dead wrong about it, but it's going to be Kansas City until
It's
proven.
entirely yeah. It's entirely possible. They are the best team. I mean, they are because the thing is the reason why they're 15-1 right now is because of their defense. It's not because of Mahomes.
No,
He's sucked this year
they're 15. Yeah,
as far as his standards.
they're 15-1 with him playing poorly.
So when
Yeah,
he turns it on, when it matters, when he always turns it on, when it matters,
yeah. I'm the.
he's there again.
Man? I love
And
trying. I
look
love
at that. We
trying.
have the Chiefs versus the LA Rams
We live in a society. Again,
in New Orleans.
the super dome.
Does he win 3 straight?
Yes. And it's gonna piss me off, and it's gonna piss
Yeah,
other people off.
he's gonna win 3 straight. This is a dynasty, guys.
I
We're
hate.
living in history. And in 10 years, 15 years, you're gonna look back and have that late night finds
Yeah, it's
type
gonna
of thing.
be like a
It's
picture.
gonna be
It's
nostalgic.
gonna be a video of him celebrating for the 19th time under confetti.
Yeah.
God, I hate how chalk
Ladies and gentlemen, your Super Bowl
feels too.
champion.
It
How shocking.
feels too certain. Just know I'll be dropping two brackets. I'll have my delusional fantasy bracket, and then I'll have what I actually think is going to happen. So stay tuned for
Yeah.
that.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, reach out to a friend, send them a link, share it, leave a comment. What did you think? Leave a like. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.